Well, it's about 5:30 in the morning and we're getting started out of the Gentian Ponds shelter. Made it back to the junction with the trail. Set up on a wooden tent platform and had a pretty good night's sleep. A whole bunch of people came in about 6 and set up tents. So I'm hoping I can stay ahead of that crowd. Today's a big day. We've got the New Hampshire, Maine border to cross. We've got Mahoosuc Notch to go through and a couple of mountains to climb. So the plan is to get to Mahoosuc Notch at a decent hour. It's going to be about 11 miles in, and then go through it. It's a giant boulder pile in a ravine. It's a mile and it takes sometimes an hour and a half to do. So that'll be the end of the day, and then there's a campsite just beyond that. And I'm sure we'll be exhausted. I'll go ahead and set up there and then try to conquer Mahoosuc Arm the following day, up and over Old Speck and into Grafton Notch. So it's a beautiful, still morning, and looking forward to hiking in it. I know we're going to be dodging a lot of mud, though. The first thing we got to do this morning is climb Mount Success, and it's straight up somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. That's another reason I wanted to pull up short last night. Didn't want to conquer a mountain at the end of the day. So we'll get up and over this, and that'll be the first challenge for today. And then we'll feel like a success, right? Then on to the border. Bunch more moose poo here. Taking a break on top of Mount Success and just called Christy and let her know I'd be trying to go through the notch. But we'll see, because it was 2.5 miles in 2 hours of walking. So we're a little better than 1 mile an hour, but not much. So if I have to pull up short so that I don't end up being in the dark, then I will. But hopefully we'll do a little better. We got more mountains to climb and descend and some bogs to cross. So, but you can see we're up here pretty darn high. It's beautiful. Bouldery downhill here. Slow going. So just came down a really steep bouldery descent. Kind of got stuck in there twice. Once I took a big step down and couldn't get my foot loose from its last foothold, so I had to kind of push up and get it free. And then the pack got stuck at some point and we had to kind of move it around. That was I was wondering a couple times if I was actually on the trail or if I'd just gone down the side of the mountain, because it was crazy. And then I saw a white blaze. Yep, probably going to be pretty frequent. So, they decided to help us out with a little rebar this time. All right, we've hit the high point for the day up here at, what'd you say it was, Penobscot?
East Peak of
East
Goose Eye.
Peak of Goose Eye. And this is Penobscot. We've been hiking together today. It's not the third time I ran into him at the shelter last night, so wow. Yeah, some tricky climbs. After the rebar, there was a place where there should have been rebar, and after that, there was a big wooden ladder going straight up the side of the mountain. Okay, east to Goose Eye. Lovely views today. And North Goose Eye, much like the other Goose Eyes. I think this goose has glaucoma. Lots of coming down backwards with handholds today. Slow going. And more mud. More rebar for our descent. Should be to a shelter soon. So we stopped back at that shelter up the hill there and got some water and ate some food and feel better hydrated. It's 20 after 3. It's a 1.5 miles to the beginning of the notch. All right, top of Fulling Mill Mountain. Scenery same as all other mountains. And now we head down in 1.2 downward to the beginning of Mahoosuc Notch, which may take us up to 2 hours to get through. So here we go. Okay, we made it down the 2-stage rebar descent, and we just keep going down into the notch. Okay, we are in the Mahoosuc Notch, and you can feel the temperature drop a little bit. Filming will likely be quite selective. Don't want to lose the camera. Okay, there she blows. Gotta get through that somehow. All right, we came up and over and through there. And now we've got to make it through there. We've just got started. Just came through there. That was tight even with the pack off and trying to pull it through. And now we go on. I see a blaze over there. Whee! So I came up and over this rock, and I look like a dead end, like I can't get down. So I backtracked and then came back, and this is the only solution, but I had to hang with my hand from the top of that just to reach this foothold barely with my whole body length. So with the pack on, that's just a little too much. I was testing with my toe, but let's try to get through here. It's 15 after 6 and we got to get done. So it's 10 till 8, and we're finally out of that deadly boulder scramble. At one point I thought I was on solid ground and my foot disappeared up to my knee. Then I dropped my tracking pole and it was hanging on by a thread. It was almost in the abyss down below the rocks. So we've got a little bit more to go with this and then hopefully a campground.
It's 8 o'clock and the Serenity Shuttle has landed at trail mile 1932.3 for a 12.5 mile day and finishing, after climbing many mountains, finishing Mahoosuc Notch in the dark. I have had better experiences. So, got into camp late. It was really dark on this side of the mountain and in the notch, but got some water, got some food, and ready to get some sleep. So thanks for hiking with me, and remember, we're doing the impossible. That makes us mighty.